welcome to the Two Steps Back podcast with me, your host, Dave Christie. This podcast is going to challenge you. This podcast is for small businesses looking to grow, looking to drive, and looking to share information and learn new things. Each week, we're going to learn a new topic. We're going to talk on a new subject, and it's going to come directly from business out there today. We're going to share that advice together. So if you're sitting comfortably, let's change that. Dave, can you find me more time in the day? If I had £1 for every time somebody said that, I wouldn't need to be here doing this with you. I'd want to, but I wouldn't need to be. Keeping control of time. How do we do that? Let's find out. Taking control of time. How, as a small business owner, time is always against us, it seems. We can find ourselves in a position halfway through a day where we feel we've achieved nothing. We can find ourselves in the middle of a week wishing that we had extra time, and we can definitely find ourselves, I'm sure, in a position where we're working evenings and weekends when we just promised we wouldn't do that again this weekend. It doesn't have to be that way. Over the course of the next few minutes, and we're going to talk about several tricks and tips that you can utilize to ensure that you are managing your time better. We can't solve it all in a day, but little areas that might work for you, things that I've learned from other people, areas that I have worked, and I will give you examples of what has worked for me. And most importantly, really understanding if the thing that we are doing is the most conducive to our business at the time. If we don't have those goals, we don't have that strategy, then nothing that we are doing has that validity. It can all take a lot longer. It could be a networking event. If we don't have a goal, we could go to 10 of them and not achieve anything. And we're still doing that. We're still going every week, and we haven't got that message. We're sending emails out. How many emails do you need to send out to get a response? We need to have that goal. We need to have that strategy. We need to track it to see what's taking up that time, as a small business and how we can make that better. So the first thing I want people to do, and this is your challenge for this week, is I want you to open your diary. In fact, I'm going to give you 2 challenges this week. First off, I want you to open your diary, and I want you to go through the next 3 weeks of appointments. And after every appointment, I just want you to look and think to yourself, why am I going here? And I want you to justify every reason in that diary that you're going to that event or have that thing in the diary. Is it a necessity? Does it add to your business? Does it add to your business goal? Does it add to your goal for the month? Does it add value? And if it doesn't, be brutal and start learning to say no and declining events. FOMO is not a business strategy. I want you to make sure that you have more clarity over what you're doing, because that in itself will free you up a lot of time, and that is that instant win that you can have. Secondly, and maybe more painfully, I'm going to challenge you to look at the screen time on your phone and then look inside you. If you have got 3, 4, 5 hours a day of screen time and you're trying to convince yourself that is all work related, come on. We've all been there. I've done it, and I know it isn't. That is where we can find the most amount of time. Just 4 hours a day of screen time. If I just take 25% of that off and take that to 3 hours, it's 365 hours I've just found you. If you can halve that, that's over 700 hours I've just found you back for your business. So don't tell me you don't have time. What could you do with 700 hours of your business day back in a year? An awful lot. So that's the 2 challenges that I'm going to challenge you to. Now, I want you to think about this. Are you setting yourself up for success when you're talking about time? Is there a plan to your day? That's what I'm referring to. I used to get up in the morning and just the day took me. I had meetings in, sure. I had networking events in, and I had clients' meetings in. But all those gaps in between, I was flicking on my phone, responding to emails. A message would come in, that would stop me responding to that email, and then I would just start responding on my phone. Then I've slipped into Facebook, and now 20 minutes has passed and I haven't achieved a thing. But every time that email came in as a small business owner, and I speak to so many business owners that say the same thing, there is a guilt that you must answer that email instantly. And you don't. And I'll prove it to you. When was the last time you went to a networking event and didn't look at your phone? Often, I imagine. When was the last time you sat in a workshop and didn't look at your phone because you were engaged in what was in front of you? Quite often, I imagine. When was the last time you were actually doing your job, whatever that might be, and went for a period of time without looking at your phone? Did the world end? Did you lose clients? Did you lose that opportunity? No. No, we didn't. We think we do, and we utilise that as a reason to pick up that phone. So what can you do to take back that time? What can you do to structure that a little better? Well, setting yourself up for success is important. So if you have a certain task that you're doing, or you've got an hour you're doing of admin, or 45 minutes of a session, or whatever it is that you're working on at this point, you can turn all your notifications off, including the ones on your phone, the ones on your watch, and the ones on your computer. No pop-ups, no sounds, no nothing. Get a timer, put that timer on in front of you, and solidly work on that one thing for 30 minutes. Doesn't need to be any more than that. 30 minutes. That's all I'm going to ask you. Some people might want to do 45. Doesn't need to be. Can be 30 minutes. And get something boxed off. That does several things then. One, you can actually see when you look back on those days, as we talked about, that you wonder where the day has gone and what you've achieved. You can look back and you'll see what you've achieved because you've boxed off that 30 minutes or that 45 minutes, as we said, about that subject. Secondly, you've had no distractions, so you've actually focused on it fully. It's got your full attention. It's got all of you. So you'll probably have done it quicker, faster, and better than you would have done with those distractions. So now not only are we taking back time, now we're doing our job better with more focus, and we're getting better results along the way as well. Everything probably starts to seem a little easier. But you've still got that niggle, right? You've still got to get over that niggle of, what if that person's emailed? We need that little dopamine mining. How many of us do that? We go for our emails just to find that really good one. That client who said yes or extended that project or the event that you've been waiting to hear back from. We ignore some of the other ones to get to those. Well, we can still have that. But we just put in a time for it. So if I put into my diary that I'm always going to look at my emails at 11 and 2 and maybe 5 or 4:30, then I've always got a fallback, and mentally in my mind, I know there's only going to be a certain amount of time before I can look at my emails, so nothing's going to get missed. And because that's in, my mind can focus fully on what I need to do, knowing that I've got a specific time set to go and look at those emails or that WhatsApp message or call that person back if I've missed a call. So I can manage my day and manage my time better. And then I can have 15, 20 minutes of catching up with that, and then I can go back to the next task. And even if that's all you did and that's all you changed, the difference to your business would be astounding. I speak to so many businesses around time, and people that have these elements in, or the Pomodoro technique, not sure which one that is. I'll come back to you. Where you work for a 20-minute block and then you have a 5-minute break. Because actually, your brain can't concentrate for too much longer than that. So having 20 minutes of solid work and then a 5-minute break for them. Now, for me, I like to see it a little bit longer. So actually, they say that you can put 3 of those together. So you can have, if you put 3 of those 20 minutes together, you can then have a 15-minute break. And you ensure you do that consistently. Now, I know there's a lot of people saying and thinking to me right now, Dave, a break? I've got so much to do. I can't afford to have a break. I can't afford to take time out for me. I can't afford to go outside or go for a walk or sometimes make that cup of coffee. I've got too much to do. Well, I'm here to tell you that's wrong. I'm here to tell you there's a different way. I'm here to tell you to think about things from a different perspective. When you're at your best, you'll perform at your best. So things won't be as hard, things will be easier, and they won't take as long, and there'll also be less mistakes. That will save you time in the long run because you'll be able to concentrate more. Working on the day at the time that is more conducive to you is also really important. So now think about this. When are you at your best in your day? When are you at your best? For me, it's first thing in the morning. I am strange to a lot of people, but I love working first thing in the morning. The moment I wake up, I am ready. So it's at that point that I do my toughest tasks. The ones that are sitting on your to-do list that you haven't done. The ones that are going to take up the most amount of time that you're putting off. That's the time to do your tasks. Then, when you're feeling at your best, now that might be evening for you, it might be midnight for somebody else, it could be middle of the day. Do them then, because you've got the motivation to do them, because you're feeling at your best. You'll achieve them more and you'll feel great once you've done them. Then, when you're not necessarily feeling at your best, well, that doesn't mean you're doing anything negative, you're just not at the prime of your day. You've got all the good stuff to do. The client meetings, the networking events, the actual day-to-day work bits that you love and do. You can do them then. And that's the motivation you need because it's the task that brings you forward now and not your mental state. This will also mean that you'll enjoy your time more. You'll be able to box off those things that are done, track what you're doing, see the results, and that will encourage you to do more and better and work that and fine-tune that as much as you possibly can. Everything comes down to that reflection. But time blocking some stuff into your diary works really well for a lot of people. Turning off all your notifications works a lot for other people. And also, as we said, making sure you know what you're doing and that everything that you're doing is adding value. The biggest amount of time as a small business we waste is on the things that aren't important. We get caught up in dramas of other people and we don't focus and be a little bit more selfish on our own business and our own structure and our own time. So we have to think about that why. Why are we doing these things? When you start to get that time and you start to track what you're doing as well, you can start to see what's really working. The accountability calendars that I give out now, probably over 250 a month, the feedback that we get from that is phenomenal. Now, everybody uses them in different ways, but lots of people are using them to track what they're getting done in a day. So that when they can look back on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, when they're feeling a little dejected, when they think they haven't achieved much during the week, they can actually take a second and look back and really realise what they've achieved. Maybe they're looking back over a period of months over those calendars and seeing what they've achieved and noting actually that whilst they think they haven't achieved much, they've achieved a lot and they can see where they've come from and where they're going. That in itself gives people the encouragement they need to continue or to reflect or indeed to change what they're doing completely so that it adds that value to their business. Now again, I can only reiterate this really clearly. Change is tough. Making these changes is difficult. And I'm not suggesting that you do any or all of these instantaneously. I'm talking about making one change. One step. Maybe it's just turn your notifications off for a half-hour period. See what happens. Build the confidence up. See the results. Me saying this and you listen to this isn't going to make the change. It isn't going to make a difference to you. You doing it and seeing how it feels. You doing it and realising the world didn't implode. You didn't lose those customers and clients. That is what's going to start making the difference. And when you do that repeatedly every day and create those new habits, you'll build another habit the next day. You might build another one the next week. And you start putting tiny little habits in, not huge gestures. They're very difficult to achieve and they're very difficult to maintain. They set ourselves up to fail. So make sure you're setting yourself up for success by adding those small, tiny, habitual changes every day so that this becomes a new way of working and not an awkwardness that holds you back. Until next time. Thanks very much for listening to the Two Steps Back podcast. I've been Dave Christie, your host. And as always, please do like and share and comment below if you would like to find out more information, ask any questions, or share this with people that you think would benefit from it. We'd be greatly appreciative of it. A lot of work comes into these podcasts, a lot of data, a lot of research, and hopefully the more people that we can help and support, the better it'll be for everybody. We need to rise everybody up together. Thank you.